Hi everybody, this video is going to cover 11.2, which in your notes booklet is on page 63. So when we have talked about previously, we talked about what are some characteristics of quadrilaterals. Now we're going to use those characteristics to prove that something is a parallelogram. So just like we did proving with triangles, we're going to do proving with parallelograms. And here are the 5 things that we can do. Opposite sides are parallel. Notice those markings. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite angles are congruent. One pair can be congruent and parallel. I don't think we talked about that the other day, but that's one that you can use also, but it has to be the same one with both of them on it. Or the diagonals bisect each other. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the examples and see, does this match up with anything from up above? And if it does, we'll say yes, and we'll state the reason. If it's not, then we'll say no, and we'll state why not. So, for instance, I'm looking at this one, and that looks a lot like that second one, doesn't it? So is this enough information to determine if it is a parallelogram? Yes. Why? Because both sides of opposite sides are congruent, or both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. And so I said both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. All right, let's look at the next one. We have an angle here and here. We have an angle here and here. That looks like the third one, doesn't it? So this is again a yes, because both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. And again, it has to be both pairs. Okay, so I've scrolled down. I have this information. But up at the list, if you look at what is up there on the list, I'm going to compare it to the one we just did. On this one, these were congruent to each other, and these were congruent to each other. On this one, we're missing an angle. So this one is a no because we don't have enough information. Okay, let's look at this next one. This next one matches with the one I said was kind of new to us. That is the fourth one here. And so this is a yes. Why? Because we have one pair of opposite sides that are congruent and parallel. And I think I said that wrong. They're both congruent and parallel. So one pair of sides are both parallel and congruent. All right, this next one, I'm looking at this one. It looks a lot like number 5, doesn't it? The diagonals are congruent. So yes, the diagonals bisect each other. Not congruent, they bisect each other. So I said yes, both diagonals bisect each other. Okay, this next example, the 3 and the 3 match up. That's good. But the 4 and the 5 do not. So this is a no because opposite sides are not congruent. Okay, let's look at this next one. Again, we have a 50 and a 50. That's great. But we have a 130 here, and it doesn't have any number to match with it. And so we really don't know if that is or not. We could probably do some math and figure it out. But as it is, I just feel like that's not enough information. All right, this next example, well, we have opposite sides congruent. We have opposite sides parallel. But let's look at our options. This one has parallel, but it's all 4 sides. This one has congruent, but it's all 4 sides. This one has parallel and congruent, but they're on the same side. And these are not on the same side. So once again, this is a no, because they need to be on the same side. So I would just say not enough information. All right, the second to last one here, the 8 and the 8 are the same. That's good. They're supposed to bisect each other, so they do. But the 7 and the 9, that's not bisecting. So no, they are not congruent because 7 does not equal 9. And this last one is yes, because both pairs of sides are parallel. And that's actually the definition of a parallelogram. All right, that's all we need to do for 11.2 for this video. We will work on this in class.